available to work on day one. I know how to do X, Y, and Z. Practical skills. Great. If you're going to go and you're just going to float around and you're going to take gender studies and you're going to, take some literature classes and you're going to largely socialize because that's what college has become. And by the way, get indoctrinated, which is happening in colleges all across America. So you come out thinking one way and not free thinking for yourself. All of that happens, you come out and you have no practical skills. How is that helpful? Is it not more helpful for someone to sign on for an online program and learn how to actually do something? Or I'm not saying do nothing, but I'm saying there are alternatives now to a 4-year degree that are specialized, that are practical, so that somebody comes out and knows how to do something. As opposed to just, I'm smart, I went to college, what do you know how to do? I don't know.
If you go to college and you don't do a single internship, you don't get a single job, you don't do anything, I mean, you've wasted the experience. I mean, I can point to, if you want to say that that's going to be the archetype of the college student you want to hold up, then fine, then I'll say, if you don't go to...
Climbing up the ranks in a job.
Not necessarily.
I mean, you wasted your time if you didn't climb up the ranks?
Yeah.
No,
but think about that, like, in a job, like, you're trying to climb, like...
But what if you can't? What if they don't give you, what if you just don't have the opportunity?
What if you're not trying to? You're just working the job.
That's the same thing as college.
Well, then you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
Definitely. If you're not trying to. Then
To work up the ranks, you're wasting your time?
I mean, unless, like, yeah, definitely. Like, you're wasting your time to being at that job. You should be at a job where you can be acquiring new skills and, like, getting better jobs.
Any job at any point in time?
Pretty much.
Okay.
No, that...
I mean, you're...
Well, I mean, you may just need a job just to get a job and you're just having
Why do you need a job?
Hustle for money.
Yeah.
For the
So you need money. Then you should, then there's literally no reason, genuinely, no reason not to be.
But you go to college to make more money. Be qualified to make enough money.
Like, you should be climbing up in the ranks of that business or just...
Whatever you're doing. Like, whatever you're doing, you should be trying to get farther.
Like, if you're at McDonald's, you should be trying to get
You should be trying to be a manager.
Like, manager?
You should be trying to be a manager at McDonald's to make more money and doing the same shit, yeah.
You don't think that?
I mean, not if you don't want to. Like,
I mean, what are you saying? Be stuck in a fucking crew position?
I mean, like, it's just like if you understand what you're trying to do, I don't think you necessarily need to be climbing the ranks up of any type of job you have. Like, what purpose?
You're not going to college. You're not doing anything. You're working.
Oh, if you're not going to a job and you're not doing anything.
Yes,
you're
working.
Like, why are you working? Like, what do you?
I mean, like.
You have to
what are you going to college for? It's to be, you know what I'm saying?
There's other ways. I'm gonna say it depends on what your goals are.
In a job,
if you're going to, here's what I'm gonna say. If you're going to college, and as Destiny said, you don't get any internships. You didn't talk to any other any jobs about your from your college or anybody who has any jobs about your college. Then you wasted college. You did. Like that you wasted that experience.
Was that the time to do that?
Absolutely.
College internships?
Yes.
So what are people doing? They just going to class and studying?
And studying, yeah.
But it's for internships and things.
But
or you're supposed to do that during the time.
You're supposed to do that during the time. You're supposed to be able to be networking and connecting and moving up the ladder. There are so many people you to meet. The point of if you're talking to a professor, that professor probably has a doctorate, and you know what I'm saying. How many of his classmates have how many of the people who were in his class probably have their own say he's a doctor? How many people in his class are working at a fucking hospital? You know what I'm saying? How many people in his class are now doing these doing the job that you're going for? You know what I'm saying? How many people does he know that are doing that job? You have to understand the connections that you have the ability to make.
Or if anything, work at a specific hospital.
You know what I'm saying? There's just so many people who know people at college. That's the whole idea. You need to network while you're at college. It's one of the best times to do so.
So that's something that students are forgetting to prioritize. Networking.
They're sitting there, they're partying. Okay, maybe parties you can connect with people.
You can,
but not in
You want another wavelength. If you go to a party to network, you want another wavelength, bro.
That's what it's time to go, bro. I would do that.
You going crazy.
Definitely going to be successful.
That's how you be successful. That's actually how you be successful.
Okay, so that was his argument. First of all, if you didn't do that shit, you wasted your time. So what you said. Okay, well, let's keep going.
College and you just meander around, you work at 7-Eleven, then you get a job at McDonald's, then you become a McDonald's supervisor, and then you go work at Burger King. Well, you've also wasted 4 years of your life, right? I'm not going to compare the high-driven guy that doesn't go to college and does all the certifications on his own, all the workshops on his own, gets a huge job, and by 22 and then compare that to a college student that does nothing. That's not an equal comparison,
but forget about doing it. I had a 4.0. I worked my butt off.
I don't know what your college can you speak Spanish?
But there's plenty of people. Sure, of course I can.
Nice, and you're Miami, so that's good. There you go. That's a good skill you picked up.
But what was that going to do if I wanted to be a Spanish teacher? Great.
I can't go on your personal experience
so
because I
let's
don't know.
speak
But
in general.
this is something that I would beg conservatives to do. You have to stop attacking liberal arts because I'm tired on my stream of debating how many new black, trans, women characters are in the next TV show. Okay, conservatives have suicided themselves on the culture war because they refuse to engage in the things that matter culturally. And when you say things
What
like
matters culture? That we're
like
ignoring.
things like liberal arts are important, things like entertainment, things like
Yeah.
things like music, all these things are really important things. And when conservatives just say do STEM, do STEM, do STEM, don't do that. That's for losers. English is for losers. History is for losers. And you turn around and you're like, oh my God, CRT, that's horrible. Well, how do you expect, what else would CRT be besides something written by the most progressive and crazy people? Because all the conservatives are driven to only do engineering and technology, right? I want there to be a conservative that is studying gender studies. I want that to happen so that when people are saying things like, I think any gender can be anything and our pronoun should be Zer, I want a conservative there saying, you know what, I think it's good to push on some gender things, but that's a little bit fucking insane, you know? I think that'd be good. But when conservatives push for education to look a certain way, I think that some of it starts to become self-fulfilling, to where conservatives will say, I think the institutions are becoming a little bit ideologically driven. Stay away from the liberal arts. Or I think that college in general is becoming more ideologically driven. We need to kind of like do private schools and stay out of there. Well, what's happening to the schools? They're becoming more and more and more and more and more ideologically driven as conservatives refuse to engage with them. And then those people are growing up. They're joining the administration and the staff. And
Oh, he came at that at a very different angle. I didn't see his point
pretty
until
factual,
just then.
man.
He's saying like he's saying that he's tired of conservatives encouraging people to not go to college,
not just to not go to college, but to specifically not go into these arts,
fields.
the art degrees, because of all these people. They're always saying, man, you know, there's always a gay woman or an LGBT person in every TV show is always about the LGBT agenda and the right, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody said, I even say that. I mean, like, the video games now, you know what I'm saying? They all have an agenda in every TV show. But that's definitely because
you guys are pulling out of those fields and not
working out
engaging into these fields and letting them dominate it. Well, but
to be fair, I would say
I think he has more to say. I think he's getting somewhere because that doesn't fully answer what she's saying. I'm sure she still feels, you know, confident in her feeling that you probably shouldn't go because it's like not necessarily going to be helpful for you in her opinion.
Well, it might not. Okay, so individually it might not be, but it like overall they have a problem with the culture not changing because like it might. Honestly, being a teacher as an individual is probably one of the stupidest things you could do. Like okay. It's not smart. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do well. Like that's not going to leave you with a nice, happy, like strong life that you can live for good money. Like most people aren't going to. It's just not. They don't pay enough. Yeah. And the hours are too crazy. But like people who want to be teachers, they do it for a different reason. They want to mold the next generation. They want to teach people. They want to be that person. Like you might say that like going into these liberal arts degrees, going into all these social and cultural degrees, you know what I'm saying, is useless to someone if you're talking about making money. Yeah, of course. But if you're talking about like influencing the culture of the world or influencing like the future of our generations and stuff like that, it's not necessarily the same. Like it has different value in it.
It's for the people who want, and he's arguing for that.
He's arguing about the other value because
the other value of these degrees besides making money.
Yes,
that's what he's arguing.
Yeah,
that is that is an important perspective.
Especially because people are mad about the fact that they don't that these things are happening. Like, you know, a lot of people say, why the fuck is all these lefty politics stuff in all of our media and all the, you know what I'm saying? That's because there's no right wingers actually like going into liberal arts and doing these things. It's just not how it is.
That's like an argument that I just wasn't expecting to be answered with that. That's a very different. That's. I feel like that's an outside the box claim. Like, not that it's wrong, but like I feel like he's having like a different. He's coming from a different angle.
Absolutely.
I don't even like. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I just didn't.
I mean, because like I've actually never had that good argument against that. Some of those points. So,
what she said.
Not what she said.
What he said.
What he's arguing against. Because I'm gonna be fair. I feel like Destiny is talking into the void right now a little bit. Like I get why this matters to her claim, but like a little bit, he's kind of talking into like the general conservative void about talking and stuff. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like this isn't a response to what she said very much. It's more of a response to like the conservative voice in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of talking into the void. He made a good point, but he's talking into the void.
Let's see.
Now they're becoming even more left-leaning. And then conservatives are going, oh my God, look at all these liberal institutions. Look at how far left they are. And I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh telling me constantly that this is what colleges were going to become. And kind of like mail-in ballots for Trump, it almost became a form of self-fulfilling prophecy, in my opinion.
But colleges have been like that. I mean, I went to college 20 years ago and it was already like that. It was already all liberal all the time. I mean, conservatives, it sounds great. It sounds like a utopia. Conservatives go into a gender, gender studies class, and they talk about pronouns, and everyone has a great civil discussion and everyone disagrees. That's not what happens to conservatives on college campuses. They
Not
get
now,
shut
it doesn't,
down.
of course.
They get put in the corner. You see, conservative can't even go to speak. I mean, a Tommy Lauren, whether you agree with her or not, can't even go to speak on a college campus without getting shut down, harassed, and they have to call in security. That's a huge problem. Why would a conservative parent want to send their child to an institution of supposedly higher learning where they're going to learn how to be a free-thinking person for them to either get indoctrinated or punished? Ridiculous. I would never. I hope that my child, I have a son, I have a 3-year-old, amazing kid, smart kid, great. What I want for him more than anything is for him, once he figures out what he wants to do in life, I would love for him to get some practical skills in that area. I don't need him to go to college for 4 years to learn how not to think, to be indoctrinated, for me to spend a fortune, for him to come to party and drink and do whatever he's going to do, and to come out and not know how to do anything. If he comes to me and he says, hey, listen, Mom, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and there's a program for this, and I
Get the complete opposite of what they've always wanted.
Yeah, he's gonna go to college on her.
And some other shit.
He's totally going to college on her.
Yeah.
And
What
gonna be
makes you say
left-wing.
that? Her kid's totally going to college on her. I feel like she's saying she's going to give her kid the choice. I'd say. You think she's going to try and manipulate him not to go to college or encourage him not to?
That's the way she's talking. I mean,
she encourages.
She's saying all this and that. I want him to do this. I want him to do that. It's very controlling.
And you say she encourages everyone not to go to college. That's like her position, is that she wouldn't encourage people to go to college. Like that's like
she tells people not to go to college because of her experience 20 years ago.
Well, no, what she argues about now currently too. She made arguments for now. Like our big thing is the institution. I think she thinks is corrupt.
She thinks
somewhat.
What institution?
Like you go there.
No, I know.
I'm explaining him.
But no, right.
What institution?
College.
College?
Yeah, American colleges is an institution. It's just pretty they're pretty left wing.
Too left wing.
You know what I'm saying? That's where you get all the gender studies and stuff all like that.
Why is it that conservatives why is it that whenever they speak and then they say the things that they do, they get harassed so bad versus the fucking righters who be they just say some stupid shit and they support the people that want things to happen, and they don't get harassed as much.
Are you conservative, Mackie?
I mean, I'm neither because
we're probably centrist, bro. Chaos pills, bro. You know what's funny? I always I like to say
I know what's real and what isn't, and I feel like I you should be understanding of what the consequences are to certain things, because everything has its consequence. Everything. Every action.
Oh, Mekti's a consequentialist.
Oh God, we getting in there.
You don't know about that, Liam?